What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the importance of building relationships with your prospects and clients, followed with my business partner, Bryan Gorrita. He's going to drop his insights as well, and the things that have worked for us and the things that we're continuing to see that's going to work in the near future to build and enhance that experience to then be able to drive the results we want. But before we dive in, we would appreciate if you please share these videos, like, comment if you're getting value out of it, because when you do that, we can grow even more and pump out more value for you. So to dive into the topic, Bryan, I want to ask you personally, coming from your background when you started to where you're at now, for you, what did you feel was the biggest component that helped you to build quality relationships with prospects and then turn them and continue those relationships with your clients?
Always be in the position of serving. So whatever business you get into, whether real estate, fitness, I come from the real estate background. I'm actually a broker. The biggest key that I'll tell anybody starting out in business is build those relationships, especially if at first you're not making that much money. Take those little hits, take those experiences and run with them, because you never know where those relationships will lead later down in life. So that's one of my go-tos, I'll tell you.
Love that. And I'll tell you right now from personal experience, coming from the fitness world, starting as a trainer, you have to make time to meet people. And I always say relationships do not begin without connection. If you're not connecting with people, you can't build a relationship, right? So in order to make a proper connection, what do you need in place? You need to make sure you have a great attitude, because if your attitude sucks, you ain't going to make a connection. You need to have a good energy behind that to back that up. And you have to have focus. When I mean by focus, it means you have to have focus on, first of all, when you're making that connection, you're focused on the person, right? You're focused on them. You're not paying attention to other things. You're focused on the conversation, right? You're not being distracted so you can know how to reply back and answer correctly. And you're focused on being genuine. Because when you're focused on being genuine, that's when relationships building starts. Because people can tell, and I know Bryan can tell you from experience, people can tell when you're not being real. And the most important thing is in any connection relationship is, are you being real or you're not being real? Are you only doing this for self-service, or are you doing this because you really want to help that person without getting anything back, right? And I'm not saying that in the game of business, at the end of the day, yes, there's always a result, there's always something, but you have to always serve first, give first, show up first, right? It's like that word, that phrase, give and you shall receive, right? Give and you shall receive, but keep on giving and you'll see that the receiving end will start coming as you're doing that, without taking the equation of, I'm just doing this for money dollars. I'm putting a price on this person. Don't do that. Do it because you really want to help them with the situation that they're in, to solve that problem. So for me, I always said, when I'm meeting people, when I first started as a trainer, I'm going to just go out there and connect with as many people as possible. I'm going to walk around with the right attitude. I'm going to rock up with the right energy, and I'm going to stay focused when I'm in these conversations.
100%. And another thing I want to piggyback off, know your offer. And what do I mean by that? What is it that you're offering in the current marketplace, your service, your product, whatever it is that you're selling or whatever it is that you're trying to push? Understand what that is and present it in a way where it's very simple, digestible. Let's say you're a hedge fund manager. Let's say that you sell commercial real estate. When you're networking and connecting with these different individuals, a lot of these people are not subject matter experts, so they're not going to know it. So don't overcomplicate things. Make it very simple to the point when you're speaking or interacting with different influential people or anybody. You want to make it very simple where they understand, okay, hey, Bryan sells real estate. He's the real estate guy. Let me go to him. Why? Because as Anthony was saying, you're building these relationships. You're making genuine connections. Those people over time, they will start thinking, hey, Bryan is the real estate guy. I want to go to him and I want him to help me purchase my property because this guy was so nice and so down to earth. And another thing too is with those networks and with social media, you want to make sure that you're keeping them in your lead magnet or your follow-up system. That could be your social media. Always follow them, always provide that content so they are reminded on a daily or monthly basis, or touch base with them so they know that, hey, you're still in real estate, you're still doing what you have to do, and you're here to serve them.
100%. I love that. And here's a few things, guys. Over-deliver in that conversation, meaning when you speak to them and they ask you the questions, or they ask you questions, or they're looking for help. Over-deliver, right? Upfront value. Never be scared to give upfront value. Don't be scared to share information. It doesn't have to be watered down. It doesn't have to be limited information, because when you show up powerfully and you show up that you are the authority in that area, that space, and you really want to serve, people will sense that. People will want to work with you. And be who you are. Don't try to force something that you're not. Don't try to force somebody you are trying to mimic because they have success. You can feel aspired and inspired by others, but you need to create your way of success with your own personality. All right, don't force a personality that's not there, because people will sense that. And when it comes onto social media or in person, the most important thing you need to do is listen. All right, don't jump ahead and start, putting extra stuff in there that doesn't need to be said, written, or talking. Right, let the person speak, gather information, and then come back with something powerful. So do more listening as well, when you're actually connecting with people, and do less talking. Try that out.
Oh, amen, man. Always listen. Always be in the position of understanding, digesting, and knowing what your potential client, your friend, what they need, or what you can possibly help them and serve them in. So it's very important that you understand that. Always be listening, and don't get too caught up with yourself. You're more than enough. Even if you don't have that much experience in the space that you're in, even what you know, you still probably know more than that other person.
Yes. And when you go to these people, you have to really own and believe who you are and what you do. If you don't own and believe who you are and what you do, you're not going to get the result you want, right? You're not going to make that proper connection. You're not going to be able to help that person at the highest level. And you have to own that current position that you want to keep building on. So like Bryan, if you're a real estate agent like Bryan, or if you're a coach, or if you're a podcast host, or if you're an agency owner, or if you're whatever it is that you are, own it and say it and believe it and walk it and talk it, right? Because when the more you do that, more you practice that, and the more connections you make, it's easier going to be building these relationships. And they also exactly get to know what you do and who you are. And they get the sense of confidence from you, because you're saying it so confidently, because you've said it over and over again. It's not hesitation. It's not this whole mix, right? It's straight to the point. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. And this is who I help. And now you also understand if these people are for you in the long run, right? These are people that you want to pour more energy and time into. These are people that make sense for you to serve, right? Because maybe you make connections and they're not the right people for you, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Same thing on their end, but at least it lets you know, and it lets them know, okay, am I saving time here? Am I wasting time here? Does this make sense? Does it not make sense? Can this person help me? Can I help them? How can we shorten that, so that way you're not dragging things on and pushing more energy for both of you guys, and then it doesn't get anywhere. So also make sure and be aware of that, which I think it's very, very important, especially in the business side.
Well, very important. And I have a rule that I follow personally, which is called the 3-second rule. And I'll tell you right now, if you're a guy or a girl, and more so for guys, if you're going out and you see a pretty girl across the other side of the bar and you want to talk to her, typically within those 3 seconds that you see her, you want to go up and talk to her immediately. Why? Because the longer you wait, the more your mind is going to start playing games. It's going to start planting those seeds of doubt, and you're not going to make that move. The same applies when you're networking. When you see people that, let's say a celebrity walks through, or there's somebody that you know that you're like starstruck, or a developer, or whoever it is, instead of just thinking too much about it, just go for it. And believe it or not, they're more receptive than you think. The moment you go up there and you're not even thinking, and you follow what Anthony just said of being genuine, natural, you're not connected to the outcome, and you just go and talk to them, trust me, the results you're going to get are going to be beautiful. And the 3-second rule is probably the most powerful thing you can do when it comes to networking. And even guys, if you want to go pick up some ladies, try that out. Maybe that's going to help you out a little bit.
Done. I love that. And here's another one for you guys, especially if you're in a group setting, and there's a person you want to get to that you really want to connect. Don't be the person hanging around in that group the entire time. If it's especially at an event, a seminar, a workshop, don't be the one dragging on the conversation or hanging out there just because you want to be around that person. All right, go in there with the intention that you had. Go in there, make that connection, talk to them, build that relationship initially. And hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. I do got to run. I got some stuff to do. We definitely got to stay in contact, and looking forward to helping you out in any way, or looking forward to continue this relationship. Here's my number. Let's connect in the future. Boom. Don't be that person that just stays hanging around, trying to get more out of them, asking more questions. No, that's not the setting to do that. The setting is just to make that initial connection, build a quick relationship, and then continue that relationship outside of there. So with that being said, guys, here's some tips for you some of our experiences, how to build relationships that are quality and that make sense for your industry. But it's up to you to put this into practice. So guys, if you got value to this, we appreciate if you like, subscribe, comment, share, because the more love you show us, the more love we can show back. All right. Till next time on my channel. Thank you.